The wait has been long, but is Guild Wars 3 finally on the horizon? In this video, we dive into the latest rumors, leaks and updates surrounding the highly anticipated sequel to one of the most beloved MMORPGs of all time. From ArenaNet's employees' recent statements to insider information, we'll explore every possibility and likelihood of Guild Wars 3's development. Will we finally get the game we've been waiting for? Let's find out. I'm making this video to summarize all the rumors about Guild Wars 3, give you my educated guess on the situation. If you want even more information than I put in this video, be sure to check out Darren's and Triptych just videos about the same topic. Link is of course in the description. So let's start with the facts. We know for a fact that in a NCSoft shareholder meeting, we know for a fact that NCSoft, the publisher of Guild Wars 2, not the developer, which is Arena, the publisher, NCSoft, dropped a really big ball in the shareholder meeting a while ago. It was more like an employee of NCSoft that just let it slip under a situation of a lot of pressure that they apparently Guild Wars 3 is in development. It is really hard to get information on what exactly was said about it, but one quote that we could find in the internet is one quote in the protocol apparently about this was Guild Wars 3 is still under consideration and the start of development has not been finalized. Whatever that exactly means is not clear, but that is definitely not something that you can take lightly and say Guild Wars 3 is definitely on the way, and it is also not completely impossible. So that was the first but very, very vague statement that there might be a possibility that Guild Wars 3 will be coming in the future, which is, by the way, not very likely for MMOs to have sequels. So Guild Wars 2 is a very unique thing, and a Guild Wars 3 would be even more unique. The next very interesting tip we have, or very interesting fact we know, is that one of the composers that was involved in a lot of Guild Wars 2 music projects recently was on a podcast and told the people there that they were involved in 2 projects at ArenaNet. Both of them were unannounced. One of them apparently is very likely to be the card game, but the second one is apparently a AAA project. So they have progressed apparently quite far because, at least in the composer's words, that early access is very soon happening. Whatever that means, but that is possibly the reason that there will be an announcement quite soon. We don't know anything about what the project will be or how it looks, but it is apparently a big project and it's quite far in the progression. And the last clue we have is that ArenaNet is currently on a hiring spree. They have a lot of open positions and job advertisements. That does not mean that it's necessarily for Guild Wars 3, but it's very likely because if you look at the job advertisements over the course of the last months, it was very clear that they are working on a AAA project, so a project with a lot of scope, with very big amount of people involved in it, possibly a really big game that takes years to develop and is very unlikely to be the card game that we know for a fact that they are developing. Furthermore, we also know that it's in Unreal Engine, so it has to be a really, really high graphical game typically to be developed in Unreal Engine and not something in-house engine like we previously have with Guild Wars 1 or with Guild Wars 2, or definitely not something like a card game. Furthermore, it's also including procedural generated stuff. So we don't know what exactly, but they are looking for people that have experience in that. So that probably gives us a really small clue what the game could be like. Something that has procedurally generated maps, something like that, maybe dungeons, we don't know, could be anything. But they're also looking for people that are driving innovation, which is always something that I really liked to do back in the early days. Nowadays, not so much, but back in the day, it was a very big cornerstone of their company. Again, if you want to know more about the open positions and the very detailed list, check out the description. Thanks for Triptych for all the research in that department. So let's conclude the facts about the rumors with nothing is sure yet. We don't know anything for a fact. We only get the real confirmation of anything that is true or not true if ArenaNet gives us a clear statement, not NCSoft. We need a clear statement by ArenaNet that they are working on something and it will be released sometime soon. Now let's get to predictions. As I said before, it's not clear if they are working on anything, but they are a large studio and they are hiring people. They are of course not as large as Blizzard or any other really big gaming company, but if you want to develop an MMO, you still need a lot of people. That's why it makes sense to hire people. But my prediction is that if the new Guild Wars 3 will come out, and it will be an MMO, it will have less game modes than Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 has a lot of game modes, PvP, open world, PvE, instance PvE. It's crazy. You have so much different stuff. And it's really hard to maintain all of them and please all the people in there. So I think they will focus on something that is either really well performing in Guild Wars 2, like the open world, like maybe even world versus world without much maintenance, and will completely cut PvP, for example. Or they will go the opposite direction and will say, okay, we have a game that is performing quite well in that regard. Let's go and do a game that is performing in the other type of content, like going full instance or full PvP. That could be true, but I think the first would be way more likely, because then the engine and stuff would also help way more, and the uniqueness is way more likely, because if you go for typical MMO style instance stuff, ArenaNet is not really known to make that really well. But it's also possible that it's an RPG, not an MMO at all. And then the procedural generated stuff could be indicate something like a RPG maybe. Something like Path of Exile 2 or something direction. And maybe in the Guild Wars universe, maybe not. In any case, it would be something that is requiring really good graphics, like with Unreal Engine. So if it's an MMO, my prediction would be that we get a fully new progression. Nothing will be brought over from Guild Wars 2, so that everyone starts out new and you'd have people that have to grind again. That makes it, of course, sad for veterans, but at the same time you have way more open people that will join without having played Guild Wars 2 before. Really important. I think they will try to get some flashbacks going, like Guild Wars 1 with Guild Wars 2, so that you have some Hall of Monuments stuff, maybe achievements, maybe some skins that take over, but nothing that really is important, impactful on the game. It is really important, I think, otherwise the new game will be dead on arrival if you get everything at the start just because you played the previous game. And why I make those predictions are just because the new expansion model that Guild Wars 2 right now has is not pushing out as much content as you typically expect from such a large studio as ArenaNet. And I think it's a smart decision if they put, for example, 50% of the people working on the new AAA project until it's in early access, so that you have some steady income by the old game, Guild Wars 2 in this, and then they will get enough money to finance the production of the AAA game until they have some really clear plan when they will release it, and it's really clear that they will release it at all in the near future. So I think that makes sense. But like I said, this is all prediction. We don't know anything for sure. But I think it makes quite a lot of sense. So now to my opinion, I think it's a bold thing to do as ArenaNet to go for an expansion of the already old game like Guild Wars 3 and put another MMO on top. I think that's a bold thing to do. But if it's true, I'm totally okay with it. I will lose all my big progress in Guild Wars 2. I'm sad about that. But I had something new to do, because currently as I'm a veteran, I don't get nearly enough content in Guild Wars 2 anymore when it comes to new stuff. I really hope that they have something to show and not abandon the project after 1 or 2 years without having anything to show, and we just wasted the development time. Only two hopes that I have is that they improve the graphics of Guild Wars 2 in contrast to the new game, so that the new game will have way better graphics than Guild Wars 2, so that it's up to date, because you clearly can see that the graphics are rather outdated nowadays and just the engine is not working as well. And I think they have big problems with creating new content in Guild Wars 2 because the engine is so old. I think that would be a really big improvement. Furthermore, I really hope that if it's an RPG, if it's an MMO, it does not really matter. I hope they stick with the good combat and try to improve it even further, because that's the most unique feature about Guild Wars 2 and is almost not found in any other game, in my opinion, that the combat is so good. It's such a dynamic but still very strategic combat. I really like it, and I hope they will stick to that in the new game as well. More importantly, I think they should really try to improve the production pipeline of the new game, that they can dash out way more content than they can with Guild Wars 2, because that's one thing that an MMO, a live service game, has to deliver, is to make people happy every now and then with new content. Guild Wars 2's frequency is way too low to really keep players playing, and I think that's not. To summarize, I think it will not be for everyone. Does not matter what it will be. Not everyone that plays Guild Wars 2 will enjoy it. Of course, not everyone that plays PC games in general will not be happy. But I say not even all Guild Wars 2 players will like it. I think only a fraction of them will like it. So it's sad for those that are affected and will not like it, definitely. But I think that's just how it is. And I think we will hopefully see an increase in player numbers when Guild Wars 3 really will come out in the future. Would I play it? Sure, I would play it if it's somewhat close to something that I enjoy. I would play it. If it's completely off and it's something that I don't like, then not. But I highly doubt they will do something really like a bird simulator. But let's see, you never know. So like I said, be sure to check out the other videos mentioned before and check out the description. Let me know your take on the matter in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to leave a like, and thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.